The reason why Family and Sexual Violence Action Committee has come involved in this issue of sorcery-related violence is because more and more women were reported being abused and also murdered.
I think the first conference was held in June of 2012 in Canberra, and then it was brought up to Goroka in 2013, last year, December.
It's important to bring key people together so that key people can talk about how to address this as a country, no? Not just as Chimbu addressing it, Bougainville addressing it.
So I think it's a big task, and there is a lot of work that needs to be done by different line agencies, and it's not only the government agencies, but I'm referring to international organizations, international NGOs and local NGOs.
So it really needs a multi-sectoral approach in looking at ways or strategies to address the issue or response to sorcery and witchcraft.
What we want to do at the national level is actually make sure that civil society's issues are addressed by the national government. We are now having this consultation on how the national action plan will look like so that there is support from the national government.
I think the government as a whole recognizes the importance of ensuring that the issue of the violence related to this particular issue of sorcery and witchcraft is actually addressed, but addressed in a more meaningful and tangible manner where we can be able to say that yes, we can tick off on the actual action items that needs to be done in terms of the different focus areas that have been identified.
Fear of sorcery in PNG goes back a long time into the annals of history. Violence related to sorcery accusations seemed to be increasing, and it seemed to be spreading to provinces where it didn't seem to be so prevalent. People are the victims, living in fear, families are destroyed, communities are destroyed, and it's almost like Papua New Guinea is in a war zone. And clearly we need an action program that is carefully worked out and not just reactive. Make sure that we have the whole community's involvement, all of the government agencies, and that all aspects of the issue are addressed.
The workshop is the beginning of ensuring that concrete actions are thought out, planned, and implemented. Today's implementation workshop now draws on the previous two gatherings to ensure that we not only talk, but we also do the walking. I guess the end result of it for us is that it will form a basis of policy and legislative reform that we hope will alleviate the pressures of the issue of sorcery in our society. And on that note, the Department of Justice and Attorney General, and certainly the government, stands ready to receive whatever recommendations that come out from this workshop, to consider and endorse so that the issue is addressed.
Many who still believe in sorcery, as Ume rightly mentioned, we still believe in this. How can we protect those who are affected, those who are accused of being sorcerers or witches?
Everybody is aware now of the issue. I think the most important thing now for us to do is to make sure that we address it head on and we start implementing concrete actions.
We're dealing with a situation that's particularly Papua New Guinean, as it were. We really have to have Papua New Guineans all the way through who have an understanding of the issue and who are going to take leadership and take responsibility.
I understand that the focus areas will allow us to work out how each recommendation should be implemented, who should implement those recommendations, the time frame for implementation, and ensuring that implementation does actually take place. What resources and capacity issues will be required or identified, and most importantly, how to monitor and evaluate the implementation of those concrete action plans.
It's really looking at a new era into training again of how do we as service providers provide a kind of support that is relevant.
The thing is, we do have people in the network, but even if you don't give them the training needed properly and certify them, then you're running the risk of people being misled. We're not giving the same message.
The repatriation is a very huge problem, but it's a very effective way of saving lives of so many people and also doing the work of protecting the witnesses. So there should be a good recommendation on that.
We need the partnership to work together to assist the person. And so the networks are there. And if you don't meet and talk with each other as practitioners, then you don't help each other, you don't get to know each other, to establish those relationships.
So we need to see something done on the referral pathways of children, including the support from the government. What is their response to this, to assist service providers in the safe referrals of children?
So how do we really try to get the message across?
We thought it would be better to take into consideration aspects and the way that people think down there, because this problem of sorcery-related violence is happening down in the societies. And we really need to make them to take ownership of those issues down there by involving them down in the community level, at the district level. And that again, we thought in order to advocate for that, we need a multi-sectoral approach again, and that is to conduct selected workshops in the districts. And those workshops should include youth workshops, counselors, village court magistrates, for perpetrators, for victims involved or who are stakeholders to this issue that we are talking about. Most CBOs and NGOs and CSOs working in the provinces tend to be working in isolation. And when they are confronted with issues, it looks like those issues that are, of course, national issues tend to be issues of that particular organization that is standing up to confront those issues.
Because although the Sorcery Act was there, it recognizes good sorcery as well as bad sorcery. So it sort of legitimizes sorcery on the one hand, and on the other hand was condemning sorcery. So it was a conflicting legislation in itself. So when they recommended for the act to be repealed, but certain provisions were to be retained. But NEC in its own wisdom decided that done away with the old Sorcery Act, just repeal it, get it off the books.
To review which provisions were repealed in the Sorcery Act 1971 that need to be reenacted, and in what pieces of legislation. Provisions relating to criminalising the making of accusations of sorcery and witchcraft, or minor sorcery related crimes that actually would be better to be reenacted and either dealt with by the lower courts or by the village courts. The second key recommendation is to ensure that cases involving sorcery and witchcraft accusation-related violence move up through the criminal justice system and get into the Office of the Public Prosecutor.
There is a need for a broad-based human rights and peace education program in schools and also outside of schools. And it should be mandatory for all civil servants.
The people who are affected are the people in the community, so they have to understand, they have to know their rights. Our village leader is the leader there, and he makes the decision for the house line. So we have to target these people, and then we come to the village court. The village court people, they also represent the people in the community. And when this village court they are educated about the law, the laws and all these things, they can be able to work out something. They can say no to such.
It is about time now the government or our leaders start recognizing the efforts of human rights defenders. And we have this Whistleblowers Act, and we need to incorporate some of the protection in the act for the human rights defenders, because they are the frontliners. They are the ones that not only speak out as advocates, they also provide safety and protection. They also provide their own resources to assist.
So access to justice, I would say, is not really at that level, community level. It's only, in certain areas, mainly the town areas, and those areas where have a very effective road network. At that level, we have ward councillors or even village leaders who act as the people to resolve issues at the community level. And most times they mediate on sorcery, killings, or even general accusations and all that. And if those leaders, sanction or agree for killing to take place, that's it. It just goes ahead because they all listen to this particular person.
Police not laying charges. Witnesses are afraid.
And the police are also scared of sorcerers.
Developing an action plan and training package for police and village courts and other stakeholders on how to deal with sorcery and witchcraft accusation cases.
We have to look at the activities associated with that, because village court materials are being finalized now. They're training materials, they're being finalized now. And, so we have to look at how do we get these issues into that village court material at this stage.
The sorcery-related killings come about when there are unexplained deaths. Example, a person would be living normally and walking around in life like we are all doing today. And we all know, all of us in this room are very healthy. But when somebody just drops dead right now, then a lot of questions, unexplained questions arise. And our job is to clarify that. The training has to be re-looked at, especially the nursing and the health extension officer and the community health worker, cadre of health workers. The health workers, their capacity to understand the diseases and to diagnose and to explain must be improved, because a lot of times they say because there is not enough diagnostic capability in a facility, they themselves cannot do anything. So in many cases, to escape, they say, we didn't find any problems. It must be something else. You have to go and find it out in the village or in their community. Then they take it straight away that it is something not medical. Our job is to provide evidence, basically, on the cause of the disease that has caused the death. There is a lot of misconception and a lot of misunderstandings, like I have said, about the disease processes. Like the education department now needs to educate people on that. Level of literacy must increase. An educated community is an understandable community.
And then research, which is very important for us to understand the issue.
A way forward in terms of research, because this is a very big issue. because our government also needs that information to also make plans to tackle the issue on sorcery. So we need to help by suggesting how we're going to deal with this pathway, where we can interlink the research along with the different government agencies.
We are tasked to create a network hub which we will facilitate the coordination between researchers and exchange of information.
And so if there's anything to do with our area in sorcery and witchcraft, we, again, going back to what you're saying, that we need to find common ground. Otherwise, it will be establishing ours, NRI has this, MI has this, and there are others who are.
This is a national issue, and this is our people who are dying. These are our people who are actually being tortured. These are not foreigners, these are not aliens who are being tortured. This is the people of Papua New Guinea that is crying to actually have this national action plan and to support them and to help them.
And you can see the passion that is involved within those personnel, within those NGOs, on how they want to make sure that people are free from all those oppressions.
We've achieved something, and because the government is willing to take it forward, for me that's an achievement.
It is important to continue to advocate with the government, talk with the government, find who are the people in government systems that will understand, that will hear you and understand what you are saying. That's the only way to make it happen.
I think that it's going to be effective if and when all different line agencies participate in it. When everyone, if the government of the country, PNG government, can also come in and see the significance of this particular plan.
To me, it will be very successful because we are having a mixture of expertise from the civil societies, from the faith base, from private sector, and also from the government.
We're making a dent, but I think we still have a long way to go.
We need to tie all the loose ends, so that it's work in progress.